Back when I was really sick and I had no idea what was going on, I had a lot of questions. I wanted to know why I was feeling the way I was feeling. I tried talking to everybody I could about the symptoms I was feeling because at first I thought it was normal. I thought I could just, ride it out. Eventually the symptoms would go away. But the more intense the symptoms became, the more I felt separated from all of my friends, from basically society. Hey guys, how's it going? Miguel here with CFS Recovery. This video, I want to talk about the tribe mentality. Now, what is the tribe mentality? I'm actually going to read it off my phone here. The tribe mentality and why is it important? The tribe mentality is the human tendency to seek out and connect with like-minded people who share common interests, beliefs, or habits. Now, how does this tie into recovery? Back when I was really sick and I had no idea what was going on, I had a lot of questions. I wanted to know why I was feeling the way I was feeling. I tried talking to everybody I could about the symptoms I was feeling because at first I thought it was normal. I thought I could just, ride it out. Eventually the symptoms would go away. But the more intense the symptoms became, the more I felt separated from all of my friends, from basically society, because as I had to limit myself more and more and say no to hanging out with friends or no to doing certain activities, I felt almost like an outcast of society. Not so much from their perspective, but from my perspective. I felt like I was almost living in a different dimension, and I lost a lot of connection I had with most of the people I knew because I was going through this struggle every single day that no matter how well I described it, or no matter how much I tried to tell people how it felt, they would just never understand. So it came with it this feeling of isolation, loneliness, hopelessness, and this idea that people weren't understanding what I was going through. Now, normally in life, there are people that we can relate to. There's people that we can talk to. There's people who share the experiences that we're having. Maybe not exactly, but they can be going through similar things that we're going through. So growing up, playing sports, I really rallied around the team aspect of things, how we all work together to achieve a common goal, whether it was in football, soccer, track and field, wrestling. I was the kind of person who really thrived when I was part of something bigger than myself. And there were times when, I did solo things like guitar. I played guitar for a long time, about 9 years. So that's an example of a solo activity. But there were other musicians around that I could talk to. Some of my friends played guitar and we would, play together sometimes. So we actually had a common ground that we could relate to. When it came to CFS, before I even knew it was CFS, nobody was talking about these symptoms. Nobody was experiencing them. In fact, not even the doctors knew what was going on, which worried me even more because, in our mind, we think that if we go to the doctors, they're going to be able to fix us, especially if we're feeling some physical symptoms or something is wrong. So when they don't have any idea what's going on, then they tell you you're fine, you really feel extra lonely. And so with a tribe mentality, I was looking so long for a group of people who had an idea of what I was experiencing and who had some kind of idea of how I could get out of this thing. I came across other channels that gave me some hope back in the day a few years ago when there weren't too many channels, but a lot of the tribes online were actually not helping at all. In fact, they were making things a lot worse. So I would come across these Reddit forums and Facebook groups and these blogs where people would just say everything negative about this illness, and there was zero hope on those websites and groups. Not only was there zero hope, they were actually telling you that you were going to be sick forever. So just a disclaimer, I don't want that to worry you, and definitely do not go to any of these forums to read people's stories if they just talk about how they got worse and worse. If there's something you're going to watch or consume or different kind of content you're going to take in, make sure it's positive and make sure it's inspiring and encouraging and it actually teaches you something that you can take away and apply to your life. Don't search up these horror stories. And so there's this deep, deep sense of belonging that goes down to our deepest primal roots. Because back in the day, thousands of years ago, if you weren't part of a tribe, if you were all alone, or you got left behind by society, when people were living in jungles, you would die. right? So a tribe has some kind of safety built into it. There's a psychological side to it where it's not just you fighting off these animals back in the primal days, but you actually had people to help support you. So it was literally meant for survival. It was a lot easier to survive when you were part of a group of people or some kind of community. Now, back then there was real physical danger. Now it's more so the way our brain processes these symptoms, but it's the same idea. In fact, I pulled up a site right now, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. These are the things that are most important to the human psyche. 1, self-actualization, that's the most important. So the desire to become the most that one can be. So aspiring to do things in life, career, relationships, to really just grow as a person, that's number 1. Then there's esteem, which is respect, self-esteem, status, recognition, strength, and freedom. Third on that list of human primal needs is love and belonging. So friendship, intimacy, family, a sense of connection. Next is safety needs, which is personal security, employment, resources, health, and property. And then there's a physiological needs, so things like air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, and reproduction. Now, most of the things I just listed out get stripped away from you, or at least a lot of it starts to dissipate when you have CFS. You're stripped of a lot of things. You're stripped of employment, resources, health, a lot of friendships, intimacy, family, a sense of connection. So love and belonging, that's number 3 on the human primal needs. And when you have CFS, when you have nobody to relate to, you don't have this sense of belonging. That's why it can be a massive help if you can join, a group of people who are in a similar situation as you and they're all looking to recover. Whether it's my program or another program, it really doesn't matter as long as you're part of a program that is helping you move to a better place and you're not doing it alone and you have some extra support. That in itself makes a massive, massive difference in recovery. So anytime you're feeling down, you're feeling low, you have these massive adjustment periods, or you hit a crash, or when things start going backwards, you're able to get back on track because you have peer-to-peer accountability. So people in the same situation as you that are helping you get through it. You also have accountability from people who are a few steps ahead of you, who are pretty much extending their hand and pulling you up to the next level. And then you have accountability from experts, someone like myself, who will teach you exactly how you can get better. There's a quote that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And that couldn't be more true when it comes to CFS. Now, don't get me wrong. There have been people who have been able to improve all on their own. Now, obviously, they've read books and applied different things and did most of the work on their own, but it is a lot harder to do it on your own. It's a lot easier and a lot more natural to make progress when you're with a group of people. And the reason why is when you're surrounded by people who are improving, getting better, getting results, getting their life back, and that is the norm, then it becomes normal for you to make progress as well. Versus you just going on this journey all alone and you have nothing to really gauge and compare it to. It doesn't really become a competition, but more of an inspiration because they want you to get better as well. And they're helping you and they're sharing what they're doing. They're sharing what they're learning and what's not working. And they're really just there to give you extra support. So I feel like online through the internet, there's a lot of these different communities that can really help you do that. Obviously, that's why I created Recovery Jumpstart, is to provide support for people and build a strong, positive community of like-minded individuals who prioritize recovery, who are willing to put in the work, who have hope for a better future. With the people in the program and a tribe, it doesn't really matter where you're at in your journey, whether you're almost recovered or whether you're so sick you can barely get out of bed. That's not the most important thing, at least what I've seen in people who recover, because I've talked to hundreds and hundreds of people. The most important thing is the desire to get better, the desire to improve, the desire to commit and make a decision that I'm tired of living like this. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get better. And that's the hardest part in the beginning, is just committing and deciding that you're gonna do this thing once and for all. If you're gonna get extra help, or you're gonna join a community or a tribe or whatever, you just decide that you're gonna take it to the next level. So I just want you to remember that quote. If you wanna go fast, go alone. If you wanna go far, go together. If you were interested in joining a tribe, a community, a support system of like-minded individuals to help accelerate your recovery progress, then make sure to click the link down below. You can apply for Recovery Jumpstart. There's a lot of hands-on coaching and ongoing guidance to help you have not just a fast recovery, but a lasting recovery. The goal isn't to have you recover in the fastest time possible, but it's to have you recover in a way where you never crash again, or you never go back to square one, or you're actually given the tools where even years down the road, when you're back to normal again, if ever stressors come up, then you know exactly how to handle that. And you have a new level of understanding for your human body that actually transfers to life, not just recovery. These are principles that you can take with you to all different areas of life. So if you were interested in that, then just make sure to click the link down below. You can apply and see if you're a good fit for the program. But if you enjoyed this video, if you got some value out of it, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and comment down below what are some different tribes you have been part of in the past, whether you were part of a band or a sports team or the chess club, anything that you can think of. Comment down below what kind of tribe you've been in the past. Maybe it's a group of friends, but it's going to be interesting to see what you guys comment down below. I love interacting with you guys and having this kind of dialogue with me through video and you in the comments. I read all of them. As always, remember, you are just one mind shift away from living a life with thriving health. I'll see you in the next video.